In today's video, I'm going to share with you everything I wish I knew while I was studying for the CFA exams. I was fortunate enough to pass level 3 a few years ago, but there was a lot of trial and error and a lot of avoidable pain that I went through along the way to get there. I wanted to make this video to distill all of my learnings down so you don't have to go through that, and hopefully you find something of value here and increase the chance that you pass this exam. I'm going to cover a lot of topics here, so I will put timestamps in the description, but I think everything in here is important, so I encourage you to watch the entire video. Let's get started. Let's start with timeline. I recommend starting to study for this exam about 5 to 6 months before exam day. And then you should have a target of finishing all the material about 5 to 6 weeks before the exam day. It's important here to also set milestones in your calendar along the way. So write down what day are you going to finish book 2, what day are you going to finish book 3. That way, as the days and the weeks and the months go on, you can make sure that you're staying on track to finish all the material in time. We don't want to get to 1 week before the exam and have 2 books not even opened, right? That no one wants to be in that situation. Let's talk about daily schedules. So the most important thing is consistency, and I think the easiest way to do that is to study at the same time every day. For me personally, I would study first thing in the morning for an hour and then over the lunch hour at work. That may not work for everyone, but I found that I was actually most fresh in the morning after I drank some coffee. I found that when I was trying to study late at night, I was just too wiped out from the day, using too much mental energy at work. I really couldn't learn anything late at night. Find a time that works for you and stick to that. It's also important to schedule exercise and sleep schedules. Make sure you're sleeping a lot, at least 8 hours a night. That's super important for the learning process. And physical exercise is really good for getting rid of stress and excess energy. When you're getting down to the final month and weeks, you can really ramp up the study time. I recommend taking some vacation days off work to really study that final week and really just drill as many practice problems as you can. Now, in terms of how to actually study, I found that when I was approaching a new topic, I would read through the chapter first fairly quickly and then make sure that I was doing practice problems every session. It's very easy to understand a concept conceptually in the textbook, but not actually be able to do the problem when it comes to putting that down to pen and paper. So I would practice 1, 2, or 3 questions at a time and then check the answers to those 3 questions and then try them again right away if I got it wrong. I found that if I did 20 questions in a row and then checked all the answers later, I completely forgot my thought process for questions 1 through 10. So I think only doing a couple problems at a time, checking your answers, and then fixing your mistakes is the best way to learn and to study. And look, if you find a question that is just impossible, incomprehensible for you, it's okay to skip it. I give you permission to skip impossible looking questions and save them for later, right? If the topic is actually important, it will come up again in the future and you'll have another chance to learn that concept. For level 2 specifically, where there's an information page or a vignette and then 6 questions, I would actually read the questions first so that I knew what I was looking for when I read the vignette. And on the test, the information is usually in order of the questions being asked, so I found that to be a really easy way for level 2. For level 3, the essays are the big difference. These are unlike any essays you've probably done before. This has nothing to do with your writing style. Don't put any fluff in there, right? The whole point is just to be very concise and get the information on the page. The CFA Institute puts actual old essay questions and grading rubrics on their website. So you should study those over and over and over again and practice doing those questions. You should have those old questions memorized by the time you go into the exam room. This level 3 essay section was the only part of the exam where I actually felt time pressure. If you can learn to do these problems really quickly, it can help you a lot. This next tip may sound extremely obvious, but focus on your weaknesses. I found I was making this mistake all the time where I would keep doing questions that I already knew how to do. And I think this is because it felt good to keep getting questions right. That made me feel smart. But the problem was I wasn't actually learning anything when I was doing questions I already knew how to do. And the questions that I avoided doing that were really hard, those are the ones that I should have been doing because those are the ones that I needed to learn for the test. The problem was when you try hard problems, I would get a lot of them wrong and I would feel stupid, but that is completely the wrong way to approach it, right? Logically, you should spend most of your time doing the problems you don't know how to do, because that's actually what's going to increase your score at the end of the day. And lastly, don't be too hard on yourself. Everybody has bad days. I remember 2 weeks before level 3, I took a practice exam and I completely bombed it. I mean, I failed it like less than 50% correct. And I just kind of sat there in shock thinking, am I gonna fail this exam? Did I forget everything? But honestly, just these things happen. No one really knows why. So just be kind to yourself and keep pushing ahead. If you're liking this video so far, please do click the like button and share it with a friend who you think might find it useful. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I really appreciate it. Now for some things you definitely should not do. There's no point in figuring out the minimum amount of effort you need to put into this test. Like, just do it. Just do as much as you can. If you study too much, if you learn too much, like, who cares, right? That's the whole point, is to learn the material and understand finance. And don't complain about it. You chose to sign up for this test, right? So complaining is really not productive in any way. Just stick to your schedule, do your practice problems, do the readings, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. You have all the time in the world to relax after the exam. Okay, so now you've arrived at exam day. The day before, I would completely relax and decompress and rest. Cramming is really not gonna get much more information into your brain, and being more tired will probably make you miss some questions that you would have got right otherwise. It's also important to visualize the entire day ahead of time. Plan everything. Plan when you're gonna go to bed the night before. Plan what you're gonna wear. Plan what you're gonna eat for breakfast, what you're gonna pack for lunch and bring. Get there early, not too early. Some people get to these exam sites like 3 hours early. I don't think that's necessary, but just get there early enough that's comfortable for you. The whole point here is to minimize surprises. So you want everything to be predictable so you don't have to think about anything. You can spend all of your time just focused on the test, all of your brain power and attention just focused on the test. For taking the exam itself, just trust yourself. Trust that you put in the work and just attack every problem with confidence. And it is really important that if you don't know a question, or if a question is really hard, just skip it and come back to it later. Do not spend more than 10 seconds staring at a question. If you don't know how to do it, just come back later, because it's very possible that the last questions on that session are super easy. And if everybody else is finishing the test and getting those free points, and you're not finishing because you're working on this impossible problem that everyone else is probably getting wrong also, that's really not doing you any favors. Once you finish the exam, congratulations, you're done. The best thing you can do is just forget about it, okay? Don't go back over in your head, maybe I did this wrong, maybe I could have done this better, I should have studied this more. It's not worth it. Just forget about it and wait for the result. And I think if you studied diligently, stuck to a schedule, and did a lot of practice problems, I believe all of you watching this video can pass this test. If you do fail, it's okay. I will tell you, it is okay. I did fail level 2 the first time I took it, but it actually put me in a very strong position to pass it the next time, because I already had a big base of knowledge to work off of. So almost everything the next year when I took the test was review for me, and I completely crushed it. I know that you can do the same. If you fail, it's not the end of the world, and you'll probably be in a pretty good place the next time you take it. I think there are a lot of misconceptions out there that the CFA charter is this golden ticket that automatically gets you a ton of money and a high-paying job, and it's just not the case. If you are doing the CFA program to change careers or get a new job, you need to be focusing on networking and your interview skills. These skills you should be developing as you take the test. Don't wait until the end of the program to think about these things, because the CFA charter alone, it is an impressive credential and it will move your resume higher in the pile, but at the end of the day, you still need to know people, you still need to have connections, you still need to ace the interview and beat everybody else out who also has the charter. So do not forget to focus on networking and interview skills as well. And super important tip, this can make all the difference for you. So this is just for you guys who made it to the end of the video. Go to the CFA Society social events in your city. You can meet everyone in the industry who lives in your city, and that is the best thing that you can do for networking. I actually got my current job because I met someone through the CFA Society kickball team, and when an opening came up at his company, he reached out to me and asked if I was interested, and that worked out really well. You never know where these opportunities are going to come from. Just keep getting yourself out there and be open to new opportunities. So that's it, guys. We are done. You should have everything you need to pass the CFA exam. Of course, you have to put in the work as well. I genuinely hope that all of you watching this video pass the exam. You guys are the serious ones who are doing research on how to study. I appreciate all of you for watching the video, and if you liked it, please do share it with friends and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you next time.